Right, it's 2 down under, stage 4. This is stage 4. Sam Welshford, local rider in the men's. Sam Welshford wins the sprint. We also had a local girl, is it Georgia Baker, Adelaide pace rider. Adelaide crew really dominated this race, which is fair enough to say because Adelaide is just the best training grounds in Australia. There's no doubt about it. If you're a fast rider and you live outside of Adelaide, you're going to come to Adelaide and be even faster. So I tell all the riders here, around Australia, if you want to get your best, move to Adelaide. Live in Adelaide. The training's the best you're going to get in outside of Europe, and even in Europe, what's going on there? It's like crazy times. So Adelaide, if you live in Australia, man, Adelaide, guys, come along. Plenty of room for you. So Sam Welsh should win the sprint. Georgia Baker win the sprint. There's a few crashes in the men's and the women's field, I think. But no one, I don't think, luckily, no one really hurt there. It's always good to see. It's always good to have a race finish with no one really hurt. Crashes ain't fun. Can be very dangerous. But yeah, so it's very, very close leaderboard in the men's and women's. Seconds. Sarah Gigante and Luke Durbridge had a big buffer, like 2-3 minute buffer. So from second place down to 10th, it was generally pretty tight spacing. So that's where the marginal gains can really have an effect. I would say the strongest ride would have been from Chris Harper, because his team didn't have the same horsepower that, maybe the Garmin Australia, Richie Port, Luke Plapp, that sort of team, or the Bike Exchange team had. So Chris Harper, he was on the brake. He wasn't just following wheels. He was animating the race. That's no disrespect to any other riders. Just saying, I would say if from a physiological standpoint, Chris Harper, to me, from what I saw on TV on the side of the road, he had the most hunger combined with the best fitness. And there's plenty of guys out there who are fit, but the hunger's like, And when I mean hunger, I don't mean like appetite hunger. I mean hunger to win, hunger to do well. So Chris had that combination of the hunger to do well and the fitness level, the VO2 max, the blood volume, the glycogen partitioning, the hydration, the things like that. He had all that. His team, though, was fantastic, but it wasn't good enough for him to really be up there. And that I would say it's bad luck on the day one where Luke Durbridge got the gap. And everyone thought, he'll come back, it's hot, but he didn't. Time trial specialist kept him away. Very fantastic ride. So that changed the whole course of the race on day one, and then it was just a race for second, really. So I'll say Chris Harper, as I predicted at the start of the race, he was one of my favourites, as was Richie Port, who came, I'm not sure what Richie was doing on stage one. Maybe he didn't want the pressure of trying to win it, I don't know. But day by day, he seemed to be becoming stronger. Maybe he was all along going to be riding for Luke Platt, who also was, for my new to my radar, did a fantastic ride as well. A lot of fantastic rides of all levels, from guys at the back to guys at the front. A lot of people were setting some PRs there. So if you're at the back setting PR, at the front setting PR, you're still PRing. So that was good to see. But yeah, Chris Harper, fantastic ride there. Who also was up there in that local rider Tim Rowe, also in the top 10 on the same team as Chris. But yeah, and Brendan Davids as well. Really, really strong ride there. Very strong ride there. And also, you got to remember, you don't see this as a spectator or whatever. You don't see what happens in the race. Maybe you run out of water, or you run out of sugar, or you run getting close to that limit, and you've got no teammate to go back to the car and get it. So you got to go back yourself and then go back up, and then the brake goes, or the race really starts, and you're on the back foot. So you don't really see that. You just people saying, "Oh, look at the leaderboard," and that. You don't see someone had to get a spare wheel, or they got a flat and had to go back, and then you burnt a lot of glycogen getting back into the race, and then maybe lost the edge on the last climb, things like that, and you lose a few seconds, and then they put you down from 3rd down to 7th or out of the G top 10. So there's those aspects as well, but strong rides. Brendan Davids, notable, and Chris Harper, very notable there. Yeah, I'll give it to Chris Harper. He wasn't just following wheels, he was on the attack. Remember stage 2 on the attack with Wilson there. Just pretty amazing effort. And on a bike that's not that super light. It was an R5 disc, so he didn't go the S5 heavyweight disc, which is probably the heaviest bike out there, up along with that Cannondale System 6 disc. The yellow ones, they look pretty cool, but heavy bikes, heavy wheels. So it would have been good to see Chris Harper You know, I think he would have won it had he been, on a lighter bike, like the lightest 6.8 kilo bike with, 1100 gram tubular wheel set in a stronger team, But again, that's just bike racing. It is what it is. The fittest person doesn't always win. There's a lot of luck there. There's crashes and timing, and someone drops a bottle and gets dehydrated. It's the game over. It's the game. If you get dehydrated on one of those stages, bye-bye. Look how close it is, man. After 4 stages, seconds were the gaps from second down to 10th. Seconds. 30 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds. It definitely makes a difference. So marginal gains for the win. But anyway, that's the first race of the year in Australia. Let's see what's next up. We've got Nationals. Who's going to be a favourite? I'm going to be thinking, if it's the Buninyong course, same deal. We're going to see maybe Tim Rowe. We're going to see Durbridge. We're going to see Platt. We're going to see maybe Richie Port. We're going to see Chris Harper for sure. They're the ones, the favourites, easy favourites from seeing Brendan Davis. I mentioned him. Easy favourites that we can just see at a physiological level, at a hunger level, desire to win. Those guys are all doing pretty good right now. So on a one-day national race, and in the women's, Sarah Gigante, and Sarah Gigante. Peter Mullins maybe as well. So yeah, there you go. That's the deal. Couple weeks time, you've got Nationals and Buninyong. Hopefully we don't have any Rona complications there, and everyone can get to and from, have a good race. That is the recap. Tour Down Under 2021. The weather's quite cool here today in Adelaide. There's people out training, cooling down. It's fantastic. Move to Adelaide. What are you doing? Living in Melbourne, Sydney, or Brisbane? Or even Tasmania, Perth. What are you doing living in those places, man? Radelaide is the place to be. Everyone who trains here admits, man, this place is rad. Don't worry about your family, right? They'll come over here if they want it, Live your own life. Otherwise, you'll resent your parents. You'll resent your wife. You'll resent your kids if you don't do what you want to do, right? Come over here. Bring them on over. Live on the street if you have to. Camp in my backyard if you need to. Adelaide is the place to be. We need more cyclists here. There's plenty of room for you. It's cheap. The weather's good. You know what the training's like. We'll see you in Adelaide. What are you waiting for?